This is WJBF News Channel 6 at noon.
Hi everyone, I'm Barclay Bishop in for Mary Morrison today.
And I'm Brad Means in for Chris Kane. Actually, I'm in for Mary because I'm
That's
in her
right.
chair. You're in.
I went prompter, bunny.
No, that's okay. The prompter, sometimes it will trick us. Dawn plays jokes. But Mary and Chris are out. We're privileged to be sitting in their chairs, and we're going to kick off the news today with the dominant story this week, headlines-wise. Paula Deen once again making news.
The one-time queen of Southern cooking is facing new allegations of racism from a civil rights activist as more companies continue to abandon her empire. ABC's Lena Zach has today's big story.
It is out of this world, y'all.
Not so, says one civil rights activist speaking to ABC affiliate WSB in Atlanta.
We're talking about qualified workers with tenure that have been skipped over management positions because of their race.
Marcus Coleman says more of Paula Deen's employees are considering suing her for discrimination.
They do not mind fighting this in court.
Deen's reps vehemently deny all allegations, but her cooking empire continues to melt down.
I beg for your forgiveness. Please forgive me for the mistakes that I've made.
After admitting to racist language in the past, Walmart, Smithfield Foods, Caesars Casinos, and the Food Network all dropped Deen. Target, Home Depot, and QVC now following. It's a scandal so big, Deen has hired Judy Smith to represent her. She's the crisis manager who inspired the show, Scandal.
When my doctor told me I had type 2 diabetes, I was devastated.
The bad press for Deen actually started last year when the Queen of Butter announced she had secretly been fighting diabetes. That revelation was made as she started promoting a drug that combats the disease.
I'm sharing my story, hoping to show people that you don't have to let diabetes stand in the way of enjoying your life.
But now even that employer has decided to drop her like a hot, buttery potato.
But Jesse Jackson is coming to Paula Deen's defense, saying she should be reclaimed rather than destroyed. Lana Zach, ABC News, New York.
It is day 5 of the George Zimmerman trial, and today Zimmerman's neighbor took the stand to tell what he witnessed. Jonathan Good says he heard a noise in back of his townhome in February of 2012, and he saw what looked like a tussle. That's when he said he stepped in outside of his patio to see what was happening.
All right, if you could you tell at that time, in terms of describing who was on top and who was on the bottom?
I could only see colors of clothing.
Okay, the color of clothing on top, what could you see?
It was dark.
Okay, how about the color of clothing at the bottom?
I believe it was a light white or red color.
And of course, stay tuned to News Channel 6 at 5 for the very latest on that George Zimmerman trial.
Well, from Paula Deen's trouble with racist language to the word cracker being used during witness testimony in the George Zimmerman trial there, those racist words have been a hot topic this week.
Yeah, Don Lemon takes a closer look, but first we must warn you the story contains some offensive language.
This classic Saturday Night Live sketch ran unbleeped in 1975.
Jungle Bunny. Peck of wood. Burrhead. Cracker.
But it probably wouldn't run today. Why? Have we lost our sense of humor?
What was so profound about that sketch wasn't just that they got away with using, let's say, the N-word and a lot of other racial slurs, but what that sketch really demonstrated was that certain slurs there are simply no trump cards for, and the N-word is one of them.
All over words, Paula Deen is losing her TV job and millions in endorsement money.
Inappropriate, hurtful language is totally unacceptable.
And the prosecution in the George Zimmerman murder trial could lose credibility, all because of the words a witness says Martin used to describe the man who shot him.
Creepy ass cracker?
Yes.
So it was racial, but it was Trayvon Martin put race in this.
No.
You don't think that's a racial comment?
No.
You don't think that creepy ass cracker is a racial comment?
No.
Is there really a difference between witness Rachel Gentile and Paula Deen's racism denials?
The difference is a difference of about 47 years. You know,
Anti-racism activist Tim Wise.
I think to expect a 19-year-old to know the history of a term like cracker, as opposed to a 66-year-old knowing the history of the N-word, is just a ridiculous comparison, obviously.
And did Martin bring race into it by using the term?
The problem with that argument is that, first of all, it's comparing, to be on point with this case, it's like comparing Skittles and a handgun. They simply don't have the same power.
Is he right? We took the words to the people on the street.
They're both derogatory and they're both racist, but it's just not the feeling I get inside from when I hear that word and when I hear the word is just different. You understand? I guess it's a psychological thing.
If someone were to call me a hunky or cracker, I don't think it would offend me as much as this word offends other people, and from my experience.
And if you hear other people saying this word or this word as opposed to that word, this still offends you more?
Yes.
Even if it's a black person calling a white person those words?
Yes.
Someone saying the N-word offends you more?
I'm being completely honest, yes.
Honesty just might be the answer, according to Columbia University professor Mark Lamont Hill, who says we shouldn't be censoring this SNL clip.
Spade. Hunky hunky. Nigger. Dead hunky.
I think we hurt ourselves as a community, as a country, as a group of people really trying to improve the racial circumstances in this nation by running from these words, by censoring these words, and by simply throwing people away as soon as they use them.
Well, still to come on News Channel 6 at noon, we're going to run down the latest unemployment numbers, and there's some good news, bad news there, as usual, so we'll break that down.
Yeah, and first let's take a look at the weather that's coming up ahead.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening right now in the CSRA, and it's been a very quick warm-up here under mostly sunny skies. Temperatures right now, 88 for Augusta, same for Aiken, 87 in Evans. Again, lots of moisture still in place. Those dew points running very high, up to 75 right now in the Garden City, and that creates those feels like temperatures. Again, sky high. We're creeping on that century mark in terms of those heat index values. So a very hot, steamy afternoon here. And you take a quick look at what's happening. Visible satellite. We're seeing a couple of thin clouds working across the area. Rain chances at a minimum today, but they return in full force for the weekend. And we're going to take a closer look at that forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Ed, thanks. Well, this month, the unemployment rate for the CSRA increased from 8.5% to 9.3%.
Yeah, that's not good, but there are jobs out there you might be looking. And so in today's look across the CSRA, Ashley Bridges has an update on an unusual place you may find one. Ash, this is not your typical job site.
Television Park for that matter. And if you're looking for a job, here's what you might want to do. Look behind barbed wire. When you think law enforcement work, you probably picture cops and cars, but the Aiken County Sheriff's Office says they need applicants to keep tabs on those people who are already behind bars. We first told you about this last week, and since we did, Captain Nick Gallum at the detention center says he's seeing many more applications. Now, they typically have trouble filling spots because people don't meet qualifications like having a good driving record or not having a criminal record of their own. He says even if you don't think this is something you'd be interested in, you should think again.
The general public thinks to be a jail officer, somebody working in a jail, you have to be this big, strong, muscle-bound guy, but that's not the case. We have employees that are small in stature and they do just fine. It's the interpersonal skills that they have, just knowing how to talk to people and supervision skills. That's what we're seeking.
Even though they've had a lot of applications recently, they say they still want yours, and you can stop by the Aiken County Complex for an application or visit the Sheriff's Office website. Brad?
All right, Ashley, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, Aiken County residents can vote on a new logo for the county. That logo could appear on anything from county vehicles to business cards. The designs were designed by students at USC Aiken. You can vote until June 30th by going to the Aiken County website.
One person is recovering after an early morning shooting in Augusta. It happened about 12:15 a.m. near the intersection of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Steiner Avenue. The man told deputies he was walking back from the convenience store when he heard a gunshot and then felt pain in his lower leg. Turns out somebody shot him there. No word on any suspects right now.
Richmond County approves a plan to fill a nearly $23 million gap in the budget. By adding an extra furlough day, school leaders were able to save numerous jobs. Now only a handful of positions could be cut from the school system. Originally, 135 positions would have been slashed. Starting this fall, students will not have larger class sizes.
Augusta commissioners tackled several issues in a rare Thursday meeting last night. They were going to talk about giving a no confidence vote to the Law Department Attorney Andrew McKenzie, but Commissioner Bill Lockett there pulled that off the agenda at the last minute. Before the meeting, city leaders did get together in a legal session to talk about McKenzie's performance. And Commissioner Lockett says at first he did think there were reasons to fire the attorney, but now he says they're working on the issues.
And commissioners also approved the final reading of a proposal to allow law enforcement to break a car window to rescue pets and children that are left in hot cars. City leaders say fixing the broken window would be the owner of the vehicle's responsibility. They could also face a fine and serve jail time. The change also allows officials to remove a child under the age of 6 who is left alone in a car under any condition.
Carolina Pottery opened its doors today. That's on Washington Road in the old Kmart building right next to Matsushige. The new retailer employs up to 40 people. It's going to get tax credits for every job created there, and the grand opening specials run through next weekend.
Lovers of gospel music gathered for what was supposed to be one of the biggest gospel concerts here in the CSRA.
Yeah, it was going to be huge. They were excited, but everything definitely was not what it appeared to be. The latest on the big concert mishap, to put it mildly. That's coming up next.